I'm Crystal Faulkner with the CPA and Business Advisory firm of Cooney, Faulkner and Stevens. We're here today with Greg Hardman, President and CEO of Christian Moerlein Brewing Company. And Greg, you've been so focused on restoring the Cincinnati brewing history for the last decade. And you have a facility up in the Over the Rhine area, and this coming Monday, the grand opening of the brand new Christian Moerlein Lager House is well on its way. Going to be opening at lunchtime this coming Monday, correct?
That is correct, and we also have a ribbon cutting Monday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'd like to invite everybody down for that as well.
Well, this has to be like a dream come true for you. I've known you for several years, and I feel like that I've been involved with you and talking to you throughout the process, and it's just so exciting.
You know, it's been a long road to get here to return Cincinnati's grand brewing heritage, but we're really proud to do that. And it's working. I mean, our products are doing extremely well out in the marketplace, from Christian Moerlein on the shelf all the way down to the Hudepohl Amber Lager and many of the other brands that we brought back.
Well, you have a big gala tonight that I'm excited. I'm actually going to be attending myself. It's down at the Christian Moerlein Lager House. But when people actually enter the facility, what can they expect?
They can expect a one-of-a-kind Cincinnati brewing experience, something completely different that's not being done anywhere else on the earth. Literally, it's a spectacular facility, from the architecture to celebrating all of the great Cincinnati brewing heritage. They can expect great timelines of Christian Moerlein, wonderful food.
How many different beers will you actually be brewing there?
We actually will brew a total of 6 different Moerleins that will be on a yearly basis, and 2 rotating seasonals every month. On the exterior of the building, we actually have murals that show the 2 seasonal beers that we actually have on tap. We also have a gastropub within the Moerlein Lager House, where we have up to 200 different styles of beer and up to 20 different guest taps. We're very proud to feature beers from all over the world, as well as Cincinnati beers.
And again, the Christian Moerlein Lager House is in the Smale Riverfront Park. It's adjacent to the banks. What kind of challenges have you incurred, Greg, as you've gotten the Lager House up and going?
Well, first off, you have to have a wonderful partner, and the Cincinnati Park Board has been a terrific partner with the Moerlein Lager House team in bringing this world-class experience within a world-class park. Some of the challenges have been the size of the structure, the weather delays. Early last spring, we had an incredible amount of wet weather that delayed the project slightly, but other than that, we've been working diligently to staff it up. We have hired 275 people.
Wow.
And really interesting.
Well, that's fabulous. And we're going to continue our conversation talking more about Cincinnati's rich brewing history and the Christian Moerlein Lager House when we continue our conversation with Greg Hardman on WCPO.com. Greg, as I mentioned, I know that you've been involved in this for more than a decade. You've made a significant investment personally, as well as your time, your passion, your energy. Why are you so passionate about bringing Cincinnati's brewing heritage back?
It all started 31 years ago as a freshman at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio.
Where you first learned to learn beer, or drink beer?
Well, it's first where the drinking age used to be 18, and that's where I did learn how to drink beer. But I fell in love with Cincinnati's brewing history by mistake, actually. There was a bar in Athens, Ohio called Hangar 5, and they were looking for a very good quality but inexpensive beer, and the beer they chose was Burger beer. And we had a Thursday night party down at this bar, Hangar 5, and they sold 60 kegs of beer a week at this location. And the people from Hudepohl, who brewed Burger at the time, invited me to come over to Cincinnati to a Reds game and also to see their brewery. And while I was at their brewery, they were telling me that I was literally seeing some of the last bottles of beer rolling down the line, and I couldn't believe it. And then 3 years later, I had left working for a beer distributor in Athens, Ohio, to work for Warsteiner Importers Agency, the German brewing arm of Warsteiner Beer, and they happened to hire me, and the local distributor of all places was Hudepohl Schaenling Distributing Company.
Oh, wow.
So I not only saw the brewery close firsthand, then in 1991 I saw the distributing company close. And so with my own eyes, I saw a large part of Cincinnati's brewing history. The heart pulled right out of it, and I felt that if I was ever in a position to right that wrong and restore Cincinnati's grand brewing heritage, I would do it, and that's my motivation.
Well, and I tell people often that I personally think you single-handedly brought back Cincinnati's brewing history. You went ahead after that, and you've purchased how many different types of beer brands that were formerly here in Cincinnati?
Well, when you buy Christian Moerlein, and then you buy all the other assets along the way, these companies rolled up from the 19th century from buyouts and mergers, and you actually get about 60 plus different beer recipes as well as beer brands. And so we're kind of the current caretaker of all of the great Cincinnati beer brands, and that basically we're returning them one by one. We'll be brewing a lot of unique brews, both at the production brewery and over the Rhine, celebrating our Cincinnati brewing heritage, as well as at the Lager House.
How many different breweries used to be here in Cincinnati before Prohibition?
Just prior to Prohibition, there was 23 different breweries. Obviously, when the Prohibition was instituted, it shut down virtually all of them because they couldn't produce enough non-alcoholic beverages, near beer or soda that people wanted, and basically they destroyed the local economy and put them out of business.
And Cincinnatians really knew how to drink beer. I think I read a statistic that back in the day, the average Cincinnatian drank, what, about 40 gallons of beer a year?
Yeah, 40 gallons of beer a year right here in Cincinnati. We had a lot of breweries to be able to quench their thirst, and obviously companies like Hootapole and Christian Moerlein and Berger and Shaneling and John Brewing Company were all great breweries in town.
You know, what I really love about Christian Moerlein Lager House, and as we mentioned earlier, it is in the Smale Riverfront Park, adjacent to the banks, which arguably is the very type of destination facility restaurant that the planners of the banks had many years ago.
Well, it's interesting. I have this conversation with people all the time, and I say, you know, if you put the Moerlein Lager House in any other location in the city, it's really fantastic. You put it in Smale Riverfront Park, by the Roebling Suspension Bridge, right on the river, adjacent to the banks, and it becomes world class. And it's just a spectacular riverfront that we have here in town.
Well, and in addition to the 270 or so jobs that you've created at the Christian Moerlein Lager House, there's also very much of a trickle-down economic development effect.
Well, we do produce, we're moving most of our production back to town, so we're hiring people all the time. You know, we have to get the cartons to put the beer in, like the six-packs right here, the labels, the bottle caps. We have to get the malt, the hops, the yeast. We buy equipment, and you know, there's electricians we hire, plumbers we hire, on and on and on and on. So the trickle-down is massive. And
you have a brand new stein that people can also get if they want to?
We've had a long-term relationship with Rookwood Pottery, and back in 2007 I commissioned the first series of 5 Rookwood steins that commemorate the renaissance of the Christian Moerlein Brewing Company and Rookwood Pottery. And we're in our 4th stein right now, and this is the one of announcing the opening of the Moerlein Lager House on the riverfront. And on the stein, it actually shows a link of the Over the Rhine Brewery District going up and down Main Street right to the riverfront, just the way beer traveled during the 19th century. And we hope to link those 2 centers of commerce and do all the infill in between to really bring our city forward.
Well, that's wonderful, Greg. And I know you've been focused on this. Your heart, your soul has been in the Christian Moerlein Lager House and your other facility up in the Over the Rhine. But what are your sights set on next?
Well, we want to become a top 10 brewer in the United States. And you know, we are an independently owned company, and so we have a lot of flexibility. Our speed to market is second to none. And we feel as though we can, with our product lineup and our portfolio, we'll start expanding geographic distribution. And we want to make Cincinnati a major brewing center like it was in the 19th century.
Well, that sounds amazing. And again, Christian Moerlein Lager House is open to the public this coming Monday, the 27th at 11 o'clock.
We'll see you there.
I can't wait. Thanks, Greg. And thanks for everything you're doing for our community.
Thank you.